Wah. 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 Hey, I'm late. I'm on the dot. It is the minute that I said I'd stream. It is the minute. It's not like a minute late. I'm not 1 minute late. It's the minute. Okay, we turn down. Wah. Wah. Okay. There's a bit of a delay. A little bit of tiny delay. You know, where that? Okay. You went for 20 minutes? What are you doing? No, it's not 46 seconds late. It's just like a 46-second delay. Okay, the stream takes a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. We get 1% off in the D7 merch shop. I'm not doing a merch shop, man. Merchandise, okay, like YouTuber merch shops and streamers merchandise. I've seen the companies that they go through. Dude, it's like it's $80 for a hoodie with a generic like P&G on it. And they get like 10% of it. Okay? So that amount of money just goes to some generic store that manufactures the whole thing. They get like a tiny percent. They're not making the clothes. They're not making anything. They make a tiny design. They put it on a thing. Go embroider that on a shirt. Go make your own thing. Go pay a company to put that on a thing for you. Better idea. Cheaper. Probably gonna end up with a better product. Okay? And then, I don't know, donate them $20 on stream or something. I'm thinking... I don't know. I ain't gonna do merchandise. It's not happening. You can get 1% off on the coffee donations. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a video game. Very simple, very good. The idea of this one, I've made a bunch of games before. The only ones I've published anywhere are like 3 that I did for Game Jams. And you can look at I should link my itch.io page somewhere, but they're the only published things. And a lot of time when people ask, when I say I'm a game developer, when I say I develop games, people ask me, "Oh, what have you done? Like what games have you developed?" And then I have to like link them an itch.io page with 3 games that were all made in like 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, they aren't very good, but you know, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I want to make a game that doesn't look good, does not even have to be fun, is not large, it's tiny game that probably sucks and looks bad, but I'm going to put it on Steam. I'm going to have a tiny little game. Tiny one. Not with a good story, not just tiny game. Goes on Steam. Boom. Kenji's little brother going to be a beta tester. I would love for Kenji and his brother to beta test it. I'd love to see, because, like, no, I'm not actually going to beta test. There's going to be no testing, no alpha, no playtest, nothing, okay? You could put my face on a shirt for free. You feel like the bass of your cousin working on the beat for his next video. So this game, we're going to make it simple. We're going to do it. I've had an idea, when I set up this stream, I genuinely had no idea what I was going to make. I've had an idea within the last, 24 hours, okay? So, what's a game you can make that's, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't have to be good, but what's a game you can, finish pretty quickly? I've made some roguelikes before. Roguelike is kind of really overdone, but quite popular genre. But here's what we're going to do. It's not going to be a roguelike. It's just going to be Rogue itself. It's just going to be Rogue. It's just Rogue is like in a fucking text. It looks that simple. It's that dead baby stupid simple. But I'm going to make it even more basic. Just even more basic. What do you call it? What's the naming convention? Fuck platformers, man. Platform is the only platformer I think that's succeeded since Super Meat Boy was Celeste. And they're one of the most released game genres on Steam. And also they're not very interesting. You can't really tell an interesting story with them. You can't there's very little innovation you can have in a 2D platformer. It's got to have something else as the focus. And then like Hollow Knight, combat's the focus. Terraria, blah, blah, blah. Here's what happens, right? Okay. Rogue. Every roguelike, the name is, Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain, okay? Hades. No, they're straying too far from Rogue. Do you know what you do? You take, Rogue is an RPG character class. Just take a different character class. Name it Knight. What's the difference between Rogue and Knight? Rogue's dungeon crawler, okay? Knight, same kind of gameplay, same kind of everything, but different setting. What happens when you change the setting, okay? Rogue is kind of turn-based combat, infinitely, like randomly generating dungeons. Blah, blah. Permadeath. Permadeath I like. But, you're a knight. Why the hell are you in dungeons? Is not a dungeon crawler. Not randomly generated levels. Here's my thought, right? Imagine a roguelike, but you are on a persistent map, but you spawn somewhere random on the map. Right, like Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid, you spawn in a random spot on a pre-designated map. Maybe there's a few things that are randomly generated, like the loot from something. But I think you just pop down. We have a big map. We make the map. We don't need to make any code for generating random stuff, even though I can do that. Simple, we just do that. And just turn-based combat, like I've been playing Fire Emblem, like a really classic Fire Emblem on an emulator for a Game Boy Advance recently. Okay. Turn-based, you have one guy, you control him. It is open world, like original Zelda. Original Zelda, mix Rogue, mix da-da-da-da. That's what I'm thinking. So first, today, I'm going to make the game. I go blank game. I'm just going to call it Knight. Maybe that's not the final, that's the final name. But that's what I'm calling it now. That's the project name, da-da-da-da-da. Let's go. Let me just check something. Did I make it in... If I create an object, I'm just going to go obj player. Please tell me I did it in... Okay, in Gmail. Perfect. So, we're going to make... First things first. Let me boot this full screen. Okay. Okay, and then an event. Just event one. I'm going to make a character controller, and that's it. Okay. We're going to make a room for the guy to go in, and we are going to make the guy move around. That should take me a few minutes, right? But that's only step I'm thinking of doing right now. No further ahead am I thinking. I'm not thinking scope. I'm not thinking anything. I don't know how the hell the game's going to work, what the gameplay's going to be like. We're going to do as basic as we can. I've never actually done like a grid-based, turn-based character controller. I've only done like free movement. So we're going to do something simple. If I open up our basic room 1. Also, another thing, speedrun it? Speedrun, hell yeah. Speedrun, coding a thing I've not made before, but it's a simple thing. It's just moving on a grid. First, I'm just going to decide grid size is 64 by 64. You get out of calc. It's short for calculator, by the way. Just using slang. Okay. Nuzlocke the fucking... Game dev Nuzlocke. As soon as I can only take the first code I write in each object step. And if I have to rewrite some code, it's killed forever and I have to rewrite it all over again. Yeah, I've never made a turn-based game. I've never made an RPG. I've kind of... Adversion was kind of an RPG. I don't know. And... okay, so 64, what are we going to have? 64. I'm thinking how big I want the room to be. I'm just going to have a base room. It's not going to be important. What's, 16. 1024. Sure. By 16 by 9. 64 times 9. 576. Thanks. 576. Awesome. Beautiful. We have our lovely grid in our room here. Simple. This is going to be the screen size forever. Why? Because I've already decided it, and the easiest possible thing is to just not undo any work. I've decided this is the screen size, and I'm never changing it. Okay, so we are going to make a sprite, and whatever sprite I make here, that's it. That's the final one. Okay. Do you know what the biggest thing with making games hard to make is? Overscope. You make the game too big. Okay, you have to do all this work. Da 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 da. You know what I'm gonna do? As soon as I make something, no matter how bad, that's in the final game. Bam. Zero wasted effort. Simple as that. Okay. Grid. Okay, so our textures are going to be 16 by 16. Cool. I am just going to quickly copy paste this. Here's the magic thing. For some reason, if you copy in Game Maker, it sets... It doesn't copy it to your clipboard. It copies it as a brush, and I hate it. I dislike it quite thoroughly. But if I go snap to grid, center fit, show split view, snap, cool. Lovely darts. Dot, 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 dot. Okay. Player. No animations, no movement. If you like something, you can just patch it later. Yeah, if I feel like something's... You're done with the bit. He's got a calc. If you're joining the stream, yeah, calc means calculator. I'm just using slang, guys. I love that bit. Yeah, so the idea is if I don't like something, I can patch it later. I can fix a thing later. Right now, I'm going to go the most bare bones, stupid, basic. You know what? No. I don't like this, actually. Forget. 16 by 16 is too complicated. We're doing 8 by 8. We're doing 8 by 8, man. Check me out. Okay. I do this. Copy. Wow. Okay. What's the player look like? That's a head. That's 2 feet. What do we got now? Massive torso. 2 legs. Bam. Does that look like a guy? That could look like a Sendo. Guess what? What's up? What's up, Sendo? I feel like I could make the guy better. A little bit better. A little bit better. I don't want to make him look that good. I like this. You know what? I actually like this. Chicken butt. Fuck you, Sendo! Okay. Make William Afton. Nah, no William Afton. What about this? Nah, I actually really... Oh, wait. Now he's chill. Now he's relaxed. Look at that guy. Man, he's so nonchalant. Look at him. Look at him. Okay. That's it. And that's it. That's what the play looks like forever. Boom. We slap... Object player, we're going to attach the sprite to that character. Boom. I'm going to go back to the room. I'm going to drag this guy in. He stays on there. If I boot up the game, we got our guy. We got our guy. Bam. Okay. Now, what I want to know is, grid is 32 by 32. Grid ought to be 64 by 64. We have 16 across and 9 up and down we can see. I could go... Yeah, okay, so we can be centered up and down. We can't be centered left and right. I kind of like this because I think scrolling the camera and scrolling the player should be separate, right? So... You know what, actually, here's what I'm thinking. What is the character's name? 404, I don't know what the character's name is. I got a whole 7 people who can pick for me. Somebody pick. Sprite underscore. What sprite underscore what? Who is he? So I'm thinking, I'm suddenly deciding this now. I'm going to quickly make a thing for him to move 64 across. Knight. His name is Knight. No, but Knight who? Like, what's his... Bob. Fuck it, it's bulb. F2 SPR underscore Bob. Bob. Done. Simple. If we come up with a new name, that's for a different person. Okay. So Bob here. If we... Bob the Knight. Hell yeah. So. WASD keys move Bob. The arrow keys move the camera, right? And so each area you're in is going to be so large, right? Night Pop Bob. Pop Bob might... No, okay. No, it's Bob. It's Bob. That would be revising work that we don't need to revise. We need to set that as a toxic trait. We don't do that from day one. No revising work. It's Bob. The infamous Griefer Knight Pop Bob. Okay. So, like, I'm thinking we have... big world we're in, but the world has, like, set locations. And it's the same as, like again, old school, taking inspiration from old school RPGs. You have the map. You can walk across the map. Every thing you go across the map, you're going to have a certain biome, certain location. And you can have a random encounter or something in there. You can have an encounter, you can camp, you can decide to go in. So you'll have the big zoomed out map and then the zoomed in map, right? We're on a big team meeting, we're discussing ideas, kind of. Okay. And then when you're in the actual game, when you're inside a thing, camera is never centered on you because you can't even be center, right? Because there's an even amount of grids horizontally. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. Okay. So first we're going to pop him here. Object player. Step. Okay. Now, if keyboard check ord A. Boom. Yep, hell yeah. There are way better ways to do this. But, dude, we're going simple. We're going simple. Okay, W, A, S, and D, simple. Okay. So keyboard check, no, check pressed. I want check pressed. So that means you have to press it each time you want to move. Yoink. Okay. X plus equals... So X is horizontal, Y is up and down, if I remember correctly. W is up, so Y minus equals 64. Boom. A is left, so X minus equals 64. S is down, Y plus equals 64. Boom. And D... X plus equals 64. Boom. So I'm going to save, I'm going to run, and boom. Play controller done. We're done. Whole agenda for the stream, finished. Now, we get to add content. Now we get to add content, boys. Ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do scope. That's how we do scope. The game is done. The entire idea for the game so far is done. Now we're just adding stuff because we got free time. We got all this free time. We can add things, okay? I didn't jump in going, I'm making the next Skyrim. No, I'm making Night, and this is the idea for Night. What's this? Oh, and he's back on. Oh! And I'm back in like that. Boom. Scared to chat again? D7 yellow. Oh no, I'm sorry, Sendo. I'm sorry. The chicken butt was funny. You can keep talking. Okay. This is strange though, because the only time I've streamed that I've actually got... This is the first time I've streamed and I've got more than like 2 people where someone hasn't announced in state that I... Because I remember the first couple, they got like 15 people immediately because someone just was like in video launcher. Oh, D7 is wrong. And so Who was it that sent that? I forget who. Whoever sent that to Video Law has kicked off my streaming career. I'm gonna be the next Pirate Software. I'm gonna blow up on YouTube Shorts. Aspect, fuck, if you want to, you can. I'm gonna blow up on YouTube Shorts, and then I'm gonna have some really controversial opinion on on like some passion project or some like big relevant topic, and then everyone's gonna hate me, and then Moist Critical is gonna make a video on me, and then I'm gonna be the hit topic for the next century. Nah, more like month. Okay, so what do we do from here? I say we make the camera. I say we do that. We do that. I'm gonna make a object just so that I can have something I can see where the room is. Just make sure to use your mana gem. What do you mean mana gem? What's my mana gem? What does that mean? What's that a reference to? I genuinely have no idea what that means. So if I go new sprite spr underscore square edit image 8x8 snap boom. We just go and do this. We just go and do this. That's it. It's a square. Simple as that. Object wall takes sprite square. Yeah, see, he was out of mana. I was. The fuck was out of mana? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay. Here, what we're gonna do? We're gonna put some walls in. If I do this, I can put a bunch of walls down. Boom. Okay. So, that's room 1. I'm going to create a room, rm underscore planes 1. Pirate Software WoW controversy. Oh yeah, he had all the other controversies before as well. The World of Warcraft. Yeah, what a guy. What a fuck. That dude has history, man. He has. Okay. So, this room we're gonna have 100 by 100 tiles. Okay. 64 times 100. 6,400. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right to me. Okay. 6,400. Both directions. Boom. Now. Okay, cool. Nah, I'll go 3,200. I'll go 50 tiles. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So, now, gotta make viewports because of this. Because now we want the screen to only show a certain amount of size, even if we change the room size. So it was, what was it again? 1024, 576. $1024, 576. Cool. Now the viewport properties. That's the camera. What we're actually going to do is try rendering at 1920, 1080. Say I do that. Wrong. Okay. I forgot. Let me set this as the first room we go to. Here. If I set this up there. Okay, boom. That's the one we'll start in. Okay, awesome. Awesome. So, if I control save, this is going to be the viewport always. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have object player in here. An extra piece of code I'm going to add. If keyboard check pressed VK space. So if I press the space bar, we are going to go to room 1. Cool. So we're here. Press space, it takes us here. Now the upscaling is blurry, which means if I go Windows graphics. Images. No. General. How do we change the upscaling way? How do we change how it upscales? Why no ping? I forgot to ping. I forgot to ping about it because so many people were already watching. That's true. Stream pings. Ha ha. Boom, look at that. Hell yeah. I forgot to ping. Blue accent, that's a great, I've been here 25 minutes. Okay. What are we doing? Aspect, no one knows me there. Yeah, I'm niche again. Aspect, I'm finally underground. Finally niche internet user director 7. I got off Twitter and now no one cares. It's brilliant. It's great. Okay. Let me check something. I need to look up Game Maker. So what it is doing now is it is... Wait, interpolate colors for 15 pixels? Is that it? Check that. That was it. Okay, perfect. Now it's pixel perfect. It's doing nearest neighbor. Brilliant. Forget about the Google. Let's go. Because aspects in the link, but you don't see anyone else. When is Nicolas Cage being added to the video game? That's a good idea. We'll do Nick in a bit. We'll do Nicolas Cage in a bit. Okay. Okay. Boom. Done. Let's close these sprites. They're never getting touched again. I need to change... Okay. Room plane. So here's what we are going to do. Object wall. Okay. We got some walls in there now. If I go... Keyboard check pressed. VK underscore left. Awesome. Nobody ever finished a project if they were writing where they were writing good code. Okay, there's no such thing as a project where you write good code and you actually finish the project. Never happened. You want to finish stuff, make bad code. If you want to finish a painting, if you want to finish a drawing, don't rub anything out. Just do it with pen. You want to sketches get finished quickly, okay? Paintings take forever. If the important thing to you is finishing the project, make it shit. Make it terrible. Zero's back. What up? Oh, Pomono. Hell yeah. Okay. Up. Now, I want to go room set viewport. No. View set export and Y port. Hell yeah. Up would be Y port. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to... Okay, I'm just going to put the thing in here because if I need to get the... Okay, in here, I need to set the location for the viewport, right? View camera. Let me just check this in the documentation. Okay, I need to download the new manual. Here's a really, really awesome feature for... Dude, we don't want to play chess right now. I love... we're asking in stream chat if someone wants to play chess. Every time I see you, you ask if someone wants to play chess. Okay, but here's a cool thing about Okay, it's done. Finish. It's finished. So if you middle click in Game Maker, it will take you, like if you middle click on a thing, if I middle click on view set whiteboard, it will take me to that command in the documentation, in the manual. That's the coolest thing ever. That's the best feature in all of Game Maker, without question. And now your background sound. Thank you, Aspect. Very good. Okay. So. Awesome. We're going to do view underscore port. And then 0. What's that? I need to go here. Here we have view H port. Huh? What is view H port? Variable can get the height of a specified. Huh? No. Camera width. Okay. What I need to do is I need to set the Y position of the given viewport. Set the viewport from. Yep. Buffcode will check the Y position, and if it is not where it was required to be, it'll set at that position. Display get height. So I'm going to set the position of the viewport. Yeah, brilliant. What we're going to do is going to get the viewport. So up here, we're going to get camera get view X camera ID. So am I doing the camera or am I doing the viewport? That's what I want to check. Position for a given camera. For those added in the room editor. No, we need to change the camera, not the viewport. Okay, viewport's whole other beast. Okay. So, camera get view Y. View camera. Brilliant. And then 0, because we're on 0. So, I need a temporary variable. It is going to be var underscore cam y equals boom. And then it is view camera. Wait, view set. No, do we start with camera? Camera set view pos. Okay, you know what? We're going to get both variables. So, boom, okay. Set cam X and cam Y. Camera get view X. We're going to set the view pos for view camera 0 to cam X and cam Y minus 64. Boom. So, here is what we're doing. All of these, this code is going to set this variable to the X and Y. So we've got to have the X and Y because it doesn't just tell us. Is there a DSI version of Lego Battles? Was there a DSI version of Lego Battles? That's a good question. We sit back to doing Sudoku. Okay. So, up, we need to minus the Y by 64. Left, we need to minus the X by 64. Down, we need to plus the Y by 64. And right, we need to plus the X by 64. So if I do this, I am able to then move the camera. How awesome is that? Boom. How awesome is that? Simple. I have never written code that has not worked first time. My code always works immediately. My code works first time every time. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I am the greatest programmer to ever live. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to hold us within the bounds of the room. So I am going to set object wall. I'm going to create a border. No, I'm going to create one in each corner, and then I'm going to drag them out. Okay. Yoink. Doink. And now it's going to look a little cursed in game, but what this achieves... Oh, that's not good. So why... Oh, that's why. Hang on, because it's not... Okay, that's fine. That's chill. That's chill. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the actual view... 1920 by 1080. So what is double 1024? No, okay. I'm going to do 1.5 times. So 1024 times 1.5 equals 1536. You know, actually, I'm just going to leave it at pixel for pixel. Hell yeah. Why change? Yeah, this size works. Okay. So if I go all the way down to the bottom, we're going to see this. But we can go past. We can go outside the map for some reason. So if we skip over to the other end, we can still go past. I want to catch that. I want to not let it outside the border. Okay. It's actually Nintendo DS. It was Charlie, just with the eye symbol. Lego Battles is a good game. I've not even heard of Lego Battles. I know a ton of Lego games. Lego Racers. I had that on the computer. That was baller. Okay. You get carpal tunnel just moving the camera around here. Okay. I'm going to change the colors. I don't want it to be pure black and pure white, but for now I'm not going to touch it. We'll make like a 2-color, maybe 4-color. You know what? We're going to take a 4-bit color palette. We're going to work with it from here on because I don't want to waste time, okay? Here's how we're going to get a color palette. I don't have to make it. It's already made for me. We're going to... palettes... 4 exactly. 4 colors. What looks nice? What works for night? What vibe are we taking? Okay. I'm partial to this one a little bit. I'm a little bit partial to this, but it feels very deserty. We're not in a desert. This one I like, but I feel like taking... I feel like it's too... Like the examples they give make it feel like it's very used for shading. I don't really want that. I'm like, yeah, this hollow. I like this. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm liking this one. This one right here. Yep, okay. Taking a hollow. Boom. This is going to be it. Download palette file. PNG image 32 times. Copy image. Okay. Now, I'm just going to create a sprite called Sprite Palette. That's it. Edit image. Control V. Boom. Okay. Simple as that. Palette. Now we take this colors, import colors from sprites. Copy colors to sprite. Okay. I want to get rid of all of this. I want to get rid of all these colors. And then only have these 4 available. Can I do that in Game Maker? I haven't tried that before. Layers. Set eraser. Can I do that? I'm going to look that up. From palette. Palette swapping in Game Maker. Color mode, color and alpha. No, see, it's going to show me all of the... Wait, what's this? Palette builder. Palette builder tutorial. If I go... Why is that, like, 70% lag? Where's the... okay, forget about it. Here, we've got palette builder. I can go... No, that's Game Maker 1. Is that My Little Pony? Hell yeah. Okay. So if I go Tools, Texture Groups, Project Tool Packet Manager, Edit, Build, Windows, nope, Tools, Sound Mixer, Generate Project Images, Layouts, Image, nope, Effects, nope, View, wait. Up here, maybe? No, this is all project stuff. How would I change this here? Would be in texture groups. Nope, that's a thing for shaders, build, edit. Okay, let me go preferences. Image editor. Outline, default, background, tools. Here we are. Tools. Nope, that's it. Color select 74. 4 swatches on the color. 5. Nope. 78. 96. 8. Why does it not go below 78? 77. 78, 79. Minimum is 78. Why is it minimum 78? Why not? Why not less? Why can I not do a 4? Okay. We are just gonna... Where is the tool? Color picker is... Oh, boom, 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 boom. That's our 4 colors. Nothing else. How do I get rid of this? I cannot. I don't think I can delete. No. Okay. No good. But, actually, I'm going to take that and the lightest one. If I go to Sprite the Bob, open editor, edit image, okay. And then colors, copy colors to Bob. If I go to Bob, it has not copied the colors. How am I gonna, ooh, this guy, okay. I know what to do. Take this guy, boom, this guy, boom, this guy, boom, this guy, boom. Now, I select that, I copy it, that's now a brush. I can paste that brush onto anything. I can take this, and I can pick that color, and that color. And now, S, select it, delete it, and back to B for brush, and boom. But hell, I'm gonna fill it in. Boom, 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 boom. And planes, the background is going to be a flat color, but the background's color is going to be, wait, open editor. Here we are, color. If I check the thing, it is 240, 44, 11. Oh, actually, no, 15, 15, 27. Perfect. 15, 15, 27. $15, 15, 27. Okay, bam. And now I'm going to go object wall. No, not object wall. I'm going to do the sprite square. Edit this image, paste in the same palette there. And then if I zoom in, I go O to pick the color. Oh, no, get rid of the grid. Snap. Okay. Take that. Going to select it, delete it, zoom out, observe. May miss du fluid. Boom. Paint bucket. Boom. Now it's a little bit more washed. Lovely, lovely. Way nicer colors. Way nicer colors. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, here is the immediate thought I have when looking at this. Now, the background, nothing can be a flat color or a flat texture. We can't have ground, we can't have like grass that is the exact same grass. It has to be randomized a little bit, because what I'm immediately noticing is when you have very, very similar ground everywhere, everything is immediately, like, look at this. As soon as you have really similar stuff, I'm going up and down, you don't notice that it's up and down at all. So I'm thinking later on when we do ground and like tiling for stuff, hollow palette filtered Nicolas Cage. I'm not going to waste time converting a Nicolas Cage picture to that. I might do that. I might see how quickly I can do it. Speed run that. Okay. Boot up Steam. I grab Nicolas Cage picture. Nicolas Cage. Steam. Okay. Software, a sprite. Quick update. Okay. Oh yeah. Copy image. No, we're gonna make next stream's thumbnail 1600 by 1900. No, we're gonna go all sizes. How do I get the exact size? I know you can do this. Oh no, you can do it on okay, wallpaper. Wallpaper. 15,000. This is 1920, 1080, 1982, 1300. We're gonna make next stream's thumbnail right now. We're gonna find something 1920 by 1080 of Nicolas Cage. Boom. Right here. We got this picture. Copy image. I go Steam, I boot up a sprite. Now, here's how you do it. I've pasted this in. This is our picture. The file type, if I go... Here we are. Oh, yeah. So we're indexed. All right. I've already got this. So every single like pixel on here is one of these pixels from this here palette. So I change the palette. If I change the palette, right? So if I go edit palette. You know what? I can load a palette. Load a palette. So it'll take .png. Yep. So if I go back to Hollow, I download the 1x PNG. Right click. I got to zoom way in for this. I got to get on the picture itself. Here we are. No. Save image as. Ignore that I have a folder for Nicolas Cage pictures. Hollow 1x. If I go back to A Sprite, which is Nicolas Cage as an enemy. I'm not having Nicolas Cage. Okay. As an enemy. Okay. No, okay. So, edit. Preferences. Now, this image I want... Okay, I thought it was... thing. Oh, where is it? Color mode. Here we are. Indexed. Bam. Just like that, I have turned this picture of Nicolas Cage into this color palette. Just like that. Brilliant. Now I'm going to compress him. Canvas size. 16. 9. No, okay. Way less. No, hang on. If I go wrong thing. Sprite size. Here we are. Lock ratio. 600 by 337. You know what? Even better. Let's do it even more. Sprite size. 300. How small do we have to make Nicolas Cage until we can't recognize it as Nicolas Cage anymore? Because I can still very easily recognize that is Nicolas Cage. Sprite size 300, 200. I don't know about you, I can still tell that's Nicolas Cage. That's a very easy Nicolas Cage. From a distance as well, even easier. 150. That's still Nicolas Cage. It's if you don't know Nicolas Cage, you could argue that's just any guy. That's still Nicolas Cage. 100 pixels wide, 56 high. Now it's just a generic man. We've turned Nicolas Cage into a generic 4 colors. And what's I'm going to break up my calc, guys. I'm just using slang. We are 100 by 56. No. I had 156 by... What did I have before? I had 150 by 84. 150 times 84. There were 12,000 pixels total in that last one. And you only need a third of that picture. So it's like 4,000 pixels. You only needed 4,000 pixels with 4 colors to tell that it was Nicolas Cage. Is all you had to have to know. That man has a face. That man has a hell of a face. Okay, back to game dev. Got rid of these. Okay, boom. So beautiful, not jealous game. Okay. From here, what I want to do is lock the camera. Okay, we're locking the camera. Boom, 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 boom. So, how I have to do this is, right now if you press the button, it'll move us. What I should check is, are we within the bounds of it? So, I'm going to print... I'm just going to check something. If keyboard check pressed, I'm going to go enter. Okay, if I vk underscore enter, print, how do you print again? Is it debug print? How do you print to the output down here? Print to console. print. Show debug message, that's it. Okay. So, show debug message, and then string get camera X. I'm doing camera get view X view camera 0 plus camera get Y. Awesome. Copy that and then paste that in, and then Y. Hold on. Plus comma plus string. Boom. A higher fidelity Nicolas Cage for the map background. I'm not doing Nicolas Cage as the map background. Dude, we're not putting like a transparent Nicolas Cage in the background of the thing. That's not how the map's going to look. Okay. Also, I don't have copyright for that image, and publishing stuff on Steam you don't have licenses to is not a great idea. If I press enter, 0, 0. Okay. Okay, here. 064, 064. Okay, so okay. So the camera position I've confirmed by doing that. What I've done there is I've made a little debug thing. If I press enter, it'll print down to the bottom in the output section right there, the X and Y position of the camera. So if I go all the way down to the bottom now, it should show 2001, okay. By it saying 0, 0, when I'm at the top left, it means that the camera's position is at the top left of the screen. Meaning, if I go down, those two numbers there that it showed, 21762624, should be the width and height of the room minus the screen's thing. So, now, if okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run one more if check. Hey. Okay, if, and then boom. If camera get view pos, no, camera get view Y, view camera 0. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the camera to be a variable. So cam equals view camera 0, because I'm always using it and I don't want to keep writing that so much. So Control F, find and replace view camera 0 to cam. Replace all of them. Boom. Done. Now, if that is less than 0, so if we go up, yep, if it is less than or equal to 0, is that correct? Up, we're going to be at 0. So if it's less than or equal to 0, we don't want to go up. Yes, awesome. So, if not. Awesome. So I shouldn't be able to go up. But I can still go left, I can go up, I can go... Okay, awesome. Solved it, boom. We must get in contact with Nicolas Cage to ask for his permission. Cage is not sponsoring the project. Cage would not own the rights to those images. He would own the rights to his likeness. Any image of Nicolas Cage taken in a public space would own... The rights to the image would belong to the person who took the image. So, I am now going to copy this function and just paste it. Okay, so up is done. Left, same thing here as we did before. The down is greater than or equal to 0, and then we go plus, and then here it is plus 2x, and we want greater than or equal to, and we also want x as well. But the two plus ones, we don't want this. So var underscore room h, yep, and that equals room underscore height minus camera, so it's get camera I want to get the camera get view height. Brilliant. Cam. Boom. Awesome. So the room height is just room height minus camera get view height. So that should be the absolute lowest point we can go. Then if I write the same code on here, underscore RMW, var underscore room width equals room width minus camera get view width for cam. Awesome. And if I save that, I guarantee you it's going to work because I'm the greatest programmer who ever lived. So I cannot go there. And now to check the other corner. Boom. The greatest programmer to ever live. I have never written code that has failed to compile. I have never written code that has not worked correctly immediately the first time. The first time. Look at that. Look at that. Ah! Okay. Now what we can do is we can make new rooms that have whatever height and width we want. And it's gonna we can look around, we can move around, and we are not going to what's the word? We can look around, we can move around. Okay, we can move around, we can look around, and we're not going to be able to look outside the room. But we need to be able to not move outside of the room. But maybe we don't. Maybe we do want to move outside the room. I don't know yet. I don't know how we're going to interact with movement yet. What I do want to do right now, I want to make sure you can only move while you're inside the camera. Right? I want you to not be able to move if your character's off camera. So here's what I'm going to do. That's the player. I'm just going to hashtag region movement hashtag end region. Coolio. And now I can close that. Boom. That's movement, and we can look at that later if we want. I'm not going to fix the disgusting mess that is this code. It's gonna stay like that. It's gonna stay like that forever because it works, and so we don't touch it. Simple as that. Bonds of code holders per not long. We won't go out of bounds. In a game like this, it's very easy to just make it physically impossible to go out of bounds. I can't lie. You know what? Actually, I'm thinking of this. Here's what I'm thinking the combat's going to look like. Right. So, I'm just going to go to YouTube. Look at me, that's me. FE7 combat. Here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm just going to go to FE7 gameplay. Awesome. So, here is what gameplay looks like. Yeah, so you have a thing on the field. You select a thing, you attack a thing, it comes up with a little screen where you actually do an attack, right? The attack actually happens here. But this, like, the units just automatically attack, okay? I have an idea. Okay, we do that. But then instead of coming up with an automatic thing, it pops up like Pokemon combat. Okay, so we have like a couple moves, or like whatever weapons we have, we can pick which weapon to attack from there. Okay. Or we have like a quick turn-based thing in that. I'm thinking that's how the combat works. You go up to a thing, the thing exists in the world like this, go up to an enemy, and if you move into the enemy, combat happens, right? And I'm thinking you have a certain amount of moves you can make. So you can move around a certain amount of times. Cool concept. I'm just taking things other games have done. And then just sort of copying it and just putting it in a way that I think will be simple to make. Okay? And I think it's going to work okay. Like this way, it's established like gameplay systems that are kind of fun. Like Fire Emblem, the combat's interesting because you're moving a lot of units around. That's where the depth of it comes from. I think this, if you're taking the sort of Pokemon thing, like everything's turn-based, but you can see what's there, you can avoid combat with stuff. Although, actually, here's the thing. Fire Emblem has ranged things, right? Fire Emblem has ranged enemies, and so you move into a position that you can choose to attack with that. I think... Okay. Every time you move, a turn takes place. You move, then the enemy moves, then you can move again. So the turn timer is basically you move, everything else gets to move. Everything else in the area. Right. Here's the thought. You move, slides you across. Enemy gets to move. Okay. Actually, things are not going to move if they're outside a certain distance of you. So you can look around the map. You can look around. You can see what's over here. But then things aren't going to move unless they're within a certain range, right? So when you actually make your move, you can see sort of what happens around you. And then setting that rule means also it can be interesting. One thing you can do as well, great thing in game design, if you set a rule, like things can only do this, it then means you set that as a rule, and then if you break that rule later, it's okay. It just means that thing is now an interesting enemy, right? Like setting a rule for now doesn't mean I have to stick to it forever. It just means that's how the combat's going to work. Maybe something's going to break that rule, like and maybe it's just a generic gameplay enemy, right? Like, oh, things can only attack what's next to them. Or maybe some types of enemies can attack something one tile away. Or that's a common thing. You start with a rule, and then the combat gets more deep by breaking the rule. Or you have it as like a narrative thing in Undertale, one of the final bosses, depending on the route you go, actually breaks your button you can use to like have mercy, to like try to skip your turn, right? That's interesting as a narrative thing. So you could set up a rule, you can break the rule later. For now, I'm just going to operate on the logic that you can only do this, right? Stats will need to be incorporated or it'll become chess with extra steps, correct. I'm going to do stats, but for now, there's no stats. For now, nothing has stats. For now, we're just moving and moving into things. And then when I set up that turn-based combat, right now, I'm not going to make that turn-based combat. I am just going to make you move around on this map and other things move around on the map. And then when you move into them, they die or you die, whatever. Just when you move into them, nothing happens, right? Maybe just like I can press Y or N to like yes or no to choose whether they die or I die. Then I'll make the turn-based combat later. Then we can add stats and everything. I'm thinking, yes, I think you move, and then it shows you a timer for each. Like, everything has a certain amount of moves you can make before they move. So, say, I was just thinking maybe I could have, like, a total timer. There's a timer in the top. It shows you move, how many moves you have before something else makes a move. I think maybe it's more interesting. Everything has a timer above its head, right? So, say there's a... Okay, we're a knight. No interesting setting. We got goblins and elves and whatnot. Okay, generic Tolkien-esque universe. Okay, or Berserk. One of them. I'll just add stuff from things. Say we have a goblin. Okay, goblin. They're pretty quick. Every 2 moves you make, they get to go. So on top of their head, they have a 2. You move. Now it's 1. You move. Now they move on that turn. And now the thing on top of their head says 2. And so you know how many moves until they make their next thing. Then you have a big slow troll, and that says 5. And so it's 5, you move, it says 4, you move, it says 3, you move, it says 2, you move, it says 1. You move, it moves, and then it says 5 again. Right? Similar to Shotgun King. I haven't seen Shotgun King. What is Shotgun King? What do we got here? This looks fucking awesome. What the hell is this?
Let this old bishop tell you a tale most foul of a black king most evil. This despot had been abandoned by all, and for good reason. He was a maniac, a threat to his very own subjects.
This looks awesome, actually. That's great. Okay. In terms of enemy movement, maybe. I feel like I've played a game that does this before, but I don't recall what it exactly is. Okay. But I'll do that later. I'm thinking for now, what is the next feature I want to add exactly this second? I'm going to add a movement animation. Okay? Because what that does is it forces me to add a movement turn, so I can't move while the animation is playing. Awesome. Okay. I could be really cool, write in some scripts, do all that. No. We're going to do the most basic baby nothing ever. It's going to be stupid, it's going to be bad code, and it's going to be awesome. Okay. So, if I go movement, now instead of just y minus equals 64, I want it to choose to move to the right. So we're going to have a... Okay. First equals 0. No longer can move. Now, if can move equals 1, and then boom, boom. Okay. I love nesting. Oopsie daisy. Okay, everything here is now nested. I love having something... I love having code... Normally, good code practice says, oh, you avoid having things nested too much. I love nesting. Nesting is where you have this, and then you have within that, you have another thing, and then within that, you have another thing. I love having crazy I love doing that. I love making my code messy like that. It's fun. So, if keyboard check press, say if we're pressing W and we can move. First, we can't move. Then, wish Y equals Y minus 64. Okay. This is how we're going to do it. Single nest would be an interesting challenge. An entire game within a single nest is definitely possible. Probably not that easy within Game Maker, just because you have to have things like different objects and whatnot moving around. But in another coding language, you could do it. Yeah. It sucks. I could probably do it in Game Maker. Actually, that'd be a fun little coding challenge. Is an entire game with it, just like a Flappy Bird in one nest. Now you've tempted me to try that. You've tried me. Now I want to try making Flappy Bird in one single nest. Okay, but whatever. So we are going to go wish y equals. Okay, wish x equals x minus 64. I also need to go wish y equals y, wish x equals x. Cool. So we're currently at that position. Now equals, yep, wish y equals y plus 64. Hey, why am I on insert mode? There we are, that's what's the problem. X plus 64. Cool. Okay. So now we're going to have a thing if actually, let me grab this little thing and pop it at the end here. Region. Debug. End region. Cool. Okay, why is that? It's a hashtag region I need to do. Okay, and then movement. Okay, camera movement. And then wait. Cool. I'm just going to close out camera movement. I don't need to be looking at the moment. Can you update, please? So I can close this. Brava. Plus. Okay, I'm going to close this and then open it again. Just so I can have a nice organized. There we are, lovely. Okay. So if I go camera movement, beautiful. Okay. Camera movement is closed. We're just looking at the movement now. So after we've hit movement, I should add a thing for collision. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to add the movement now. So if wish x does not equal x, we run this. If wish y does not equal y, we run this. Okay. Now this means the wish position is the position we wish to be in. And then the actual x is what we are at. So, if this is not this, while, okay. what this is going to be at the moment, we're going to add more to it, and it's going to be all spaghetti lovely. How awesome. So what it's going to do is, if we are not at the position, it's going to move us a little bit, and then check at the end of this if we are at the position, and then enable move again. Okay. So we need to figure out where we need to go. Now, I could write a cool function for it to automatically do it in one line, but I'm just going to decide whether it's up or down. So if wish x is more than x, boom, boom, and if wish x is less than x, cool. Okay, x minus equals 2, boom. X plus equals 2, boom. So now we're going to move it 2 pixels per second, and then I'm just going to take all this, paste it into the Y one, and just replace all that with Y. Okay, and Y. Awesome. Now, the end of this, we're also going to add if wish x equals x, can move equals 1. Boom. And this is going to mean, because we haven't closed out of the loop yet, normally, okay, oh, whoopsie daisy. Now, normally, if we were to do this, why is that red? Unexpected that. How about now? Cool. Why is this happy? Change that. Awesome. Okay. So, right here, it'll only run this code if they're not the same. But the trouble would be is, then we move it. Inside here, if it's not the same, move it closer. Right? But then what would happen is we wouldn't have any way, if we didn't put this in here, if we put this somewhere else, it'd mean we're constantly doing that. If I wanted to stop it for something else, this here, as soon as it's done, it'll change the value and then check the value again. Meaning, I go in here, okay. I'm going to make it a little bit faster, but I want the animation to be a bit nicer, so I'll probably have it like be a little speed, so it'll quickly do it and then slow down as it approaches. But for now, I think a constant speed is fine. Okay, chill. So we just do this. Awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. You know what? Actually, I should do the same with the camera movement. I'm going to do that later because I'm not bothered right now. Simple as. Okay. I feel like I might add 1 or 2 more things and then finish the stream and that's done. I think that's all we do. I think we don't do much more than this. What is the most important thing to add next? What is the most vital thing? Collision is kind of interesting. I think more important than colliding with objects is having other things moving. I'm trying to think, is there anything more important than that? Okay, I'm going to add another thing. It's going to have the same movement. Okay, I'm going to add an enemy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add an enemy. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how it's going to run, the enemy code. Just for now, this is all I was going to do. For now, I move, I finish moving, it tells every enemy, tells every single enemy, you can move. It's their turn. They pick a random spot directly next to them. They move there. And then it tells me I can move again. And they run the exact same movement as me. That's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish that. I'm going to add that little feature, and we're done. And then we've got this. We've got this little turn-based thing. I move, they move, I move, they move. And then we can add their logic, their pathing, their turn timer thing later. They're not even going to do anything. They're just going to pick a random direction move. So we're going to add object enemy. Now, first, I'm just going to add the first enemy sprite. Sprite SPR _ skeleton. This is going to be a skeleton. Alright, this is how it's going to be. We're going to add a grid. We're going to snap to the grid. We're going to do this. Okay, first, though, we're going to add that. I am going to go here. I'm going to take all these colors down. And then I'm going to select it and get out of here. Okay. So let me go back to this. I'm going to take this one and this. What does a player look like? Boom. Simple. Skeleton. Hell yeah. That's it. Sprite skeleton is done. Okay, we're just going to take that and drag it on there. Easy as. And then add event create is going to be this one here. And step is going to be this one here. Okay, awesome. Easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. Easy piss. Okay. I'm going to take the player's code for movement and just drag the whole thing in. Just drag the whole damn thing in. And then hashtag end region. Boom. Okay. And then that's in create. That's not supposed to be in create. XV. Okay. And then the players create as well. Whoa, why are you in two different things? Okay. But this is not going to be able to move yet. Okay. So, I'm going to get rid of these. If can move equals 1, if... Okay, and then this guy's going to have another thing called wish pos equals 0. Simple. Now, I'm going to make a enum. Here's what we're going to do. I like these guys. Enum WP. Boom boom. Dot. N. Okay. So, N up, down, left, right. Okay. This guy's magic. Yeah, I'm just going to add no. Just get no instead of N. Simpler. Okay. enum means I can put this in and it's going to refer to a number. wp.no.up.left, whatever. Doesn't actually matter. I never have to think about the numbers. All I have to think about is the thing. So I can just make this say no. It equals that. So if canMove equals 1, if wishpos equals wp dot up, it moves up. If wishpos equals wp dot left, it moves left. If wishpos equals wp dot down, it moves down. If wishpos equals wp dot right, it moves right. Simple as. And now it will run the exact same code and it will do that. Now, instead of having it move itself, like allow itself to move again, I want it to allow us to move. And I want my move to allow them to move. So I have to change that. Then I also want to go if canMove equals 1. Okay. canMove equals 1. First off, choose wishpos equals choose. Choose, I think, should just be... Hold on. One sec, I've got to respond to that call that I've missed twice. I'm just going to quickly text back, ask what they need. Okay. Choose between wp.up, wp.down, wp.left, wp.right. So it'll pick one and it'll do it. And then... Oh. Okay, there we are. Awesome. Instead of canMove 1, obj player.canMove equals 1. Okay? Awesome. This will mean I can now move. Then for me, all I think I need to do is go obj enemy.canMove equals 1. And this is only going to work because I've only got one, I think, of each in there. But if I now go here, I think that's literally it. I think that's enough. I think this will do it. If I run it, it's already done. I thought that'd take way longer. I thought that took me 10 minutes. Okay. Dude. Hell yeah. Okay, it's off screen. Now what? I thought that would take way more. Okay, what if I add 2 enemies? Now, I think this will spit up an error, but... Nope, okay, it just sends it out to everything. So sending out to obj enemy sends it out to every single object enemy. So that works, actually. What I should do is decide a grid size that it'll share that info with. You know what, actually? I'm going to make the viewport a bit taller. So instead of... us having 16 by 9, what if we had 16 by 16? Camera properties is 1024 by 1024, 4 by 1024. What if it's a square? What if we can see a square of the room? Oh, no, that's too tall, actually. 16 by 16. What if we see 10 by 10? 640 by 640. 640 by 640. What if you can only see a square at a time? Okay. Maybe a bit more, 12 instead. I'm just going to break out my calc. I'm just using slang, guys. Calc is short for calculator, by the way. Just using slang. 64 times 12 is 768. Hell yeah. Boom. I like that. I like that size. That's nice. Boom. Hell yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All done. Okay. I'm going to finish it there. That is a nice amount of work. And we can close it up. We can come back later. You know, I'm probably gonna stream Pokemon tomorrow instead. But we'll come back to this game. We're gonna work on it a little more. Maybe I'll do some more of this off camera. I don't really want to play Pokemon off camera. I sort of play that on stream to keep VODs of the whole gameplay, but this I can just work on off camera and then come back and do more work. Awesome. Thank you everybody. I love you. I don't think there's any sign I have to do. I'll see you later.